And welcome back to another episode of Asian Not Asian Podcast, the podcast where two Asian guys not from Asia talk about American issues no American cares about. I'm your host, FUMI.
And I'm Mike Nguyen.
Today is Saturday, November 20th. We hope this podcast finds you fully naked with just a condom on. Over to you, Mike.
If you're listening to us with your condom on, please, and if you're listening to us on the podcast app, please leave us a review. Leave us 5 stars. We love having that. We're trying to get to 1,000 reviews. If you're on YouTube, hit subscribe, hit like, and leave a comment. We want to know what brand of condom you like. Okay, I'm a classic guy. Okay, I like a good old Acme one. Acme condoms.
Acme? That's
Acme. Yeah.
That's the shit that they give you at college campuses, I feel like.
Bro, that's the
free.
shit that they got, the Roadrunner got, So that's the kind I like. And if you're checking us out on Spotify, hit subscribe so you can always get the latest episodes. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Also, if you're listening to it on YouTube, please don't abandon your audio platforms because that's how we mainly make money. So do both. Subscribe, but also
hit both.
Download us on your
One
phones.
left.
The phone thing is a little bit more important. Before we start the show, we always give a shout out to our newest Patreon subscribers. What is Patreon? It is the best way to support this podcast. We're a completely independent operation. We're not with any network. So we need money to pay for our producers, editors, all that good stuff, especially now that Mike and I are on different coasts. So if you like what you've been hearing, please consider going to patreon.com/AsianNotAsianPod and give us your money. And in exchange, we give you bonus episodes. We slide into your DMs. And most importantly, we give you a shout out on this podcast by guessing what ethnicity you are based on your last name. Also, a quick note, we are getting a lot. So we do like 3 or 4 at a time. If you're like, hey, I donated like 3 weeks ago, where's my name at? We'll get you within the month, okay? So just chill out, all right?
Just cool.
Chill out.
Just be cool.
Just be cool, man. It's really not a big deal, all right? So here we go. Our newest subscribers for this week. First person
This is a good mix. We got a good mix.
Here we go. Atina Chaikithom. ATINACHAIKITHORN. Oh, I'm sorry. Chaikithorn.
Yeah, this person's Thai as shit. This person.
Oh, you think this is Thai?
Are you goddamn kidding me, dude? You put a word.
Atina? I've never met an Atina before.
Okay, first of all, you're right. You're right about Atina. Atina sounds like a cyborg name. Okay, like Atina, Battle Angel, Atina, right? But Chaikithorn, any thorn in there, that's like a Thai name. I mean, I bet you this is even the short Thai name. It probably goes on for like.
I didn't think it was long
letters.
enough for Thai.
Yeah.
Oh, you think this is the abridged version?
Yeah, this is like the Little Wayne, the shortened street version, you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Of the Thai name. So Thai shit and also Little Wayne. So
you're Thai Asian. I love that. I love that Thai people's last names. It's kind of like that new Taylor Swift song that came out. It's like 10 minutes long, but it took her like 10 years. It took her like 10 years to release it because people weren't ready. It's like that.
They weren't ready.
Like,
you're not ready for the full name.
We don't get the Thai version until
get the first
20.
3 syllables. When you're ready, the other 12 will come out. Okay.
Yeah.
Love it.
Next we have Patrick Wen. W-E-N.
Patrick Wen.
I think that's Chinese.
I think that's Chinese. This is a good old
Chinese.
Roland Heights Chinese dude. Shouts to Roland Heights.
Next we have V dot. Last name is Chow. C-H-A-U.
V Chow. That's kind of like a cool pop singer name. I'm getting
like Taiwanese pop star vibes.
Yeah, Taiwanese,
Hong Kong,
Taiwanese,
like
HK pop. Going on V Chow. That's cool. I got the CD.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you so much for donating and tell your record label we said hi. And last but not least, we have. Is this Tammy?
I think it's Tammy. I think it's Tammy.
T-A-M-I-E Shu H-S-U.
Tammy Shu.
So Shu's Chinese.
Shu's Chinese.
But Tammy? Oh, is this fucking maybe a Japanese name like Tamie?
Word? Damn. You make everything Japanese, don't you?
Well, because it's like that pattern,
Yo, I get you.
Well, my grandpa's name was Tamiya. So maybe Tamie, maybe a girl's name, maybe half Taiwanese, half Chinese, half Japanese, maybe.
Okay, you got that hypothesis. I'm gonna go Tammy. This is a good old Midwestern, good-hearted Christian Chinese woman living in Wisconsin. Okay, Tammy, good old Tammy. But she spelled it
good
a
old
quirky.
Tammy.
Good old Tammy. All right, go get some donuts and chill.
Go get some fried curd. We love that about Wisconsin.
Love it.
All right. Well, thank you so much for donating. And if you want to get in this game, please go to patreon.com/AsianNotAsianPod. Before we bring our guest on, we always like to start this podcast by asking each other, what kind of Asian we were this week to figure out what it means to be Asian American. So, Mike, what kind of Asian were you this week?
I was crime victim Asian. Okay, this happened. I was for people who know, I was visiting my relatives in Los Angeles last week. My mom and my aunt. We were staying at my aunt's house, and my aunt is, she does well, and she lives in a very nice part of Los Angeles, and I was there for 3 days. I was there, 4 days. I got there like on, Thursday, and I left on Sunday. And over those 4 days in Southern California, my mom was a victim of crime twice.
Whoa.
Twice.
In that neighborhood, in that nice neighborhood.
So first on Friday, she went to go get me some pho. She went to Pho 79. It's like won a James Beard Award. It's the best pho. I mean, it's really good. And so she was in the parking lot with my aunt, and my aunt has a nice car, and they had their purses in the front seat, and my mom is like loading the car with pho for her baby boy. That's me. And
loading the car with like in the trunk?
To go, right? To go pho, to go. Right, she was loading up the car with like pho, and my aunt is in the driver's seat, and they noticed there's these other guys who are parked right next to them. In her description, they looked kind of scary. That's what she described them as. She said they looked kind of scary. They were like young guys, and she was like, "What's going on here?" But whatever. She's loading the pho up, and my aunt notices she needs some help, so she gets out of the car. As soon as my aunt gets out of the car, the scary guy car peels out and drives off, and they're like, "Whoa, what was that?" And then right away they realized they had taken the purses that were sitting in the passenger seat. So
with the windows down.
So we're not sure. They can't remember if they had the windows down or maybe they just opened the door and took it. But they took both of the purses from my aunt and my mom, and so that sucked. But they're okay physically. They were okay, but it's fine. Whatever. Then Sunday. Okay, my mom has a car. It's this old Accord, and I was driving it over the weekend. I park it in this nice neighborhood in Los Angeles. I park it, and we're all gonna go to dim sum. So I'm like loading up the car. We love loading cars, and so we're loading up the car again with more stuff, and we're gonna go to dim sum. I turn on the car. It's loud as fuck, so loud. I thought that the engine was gonna explode on me, and I'm like, "Mom, something wrong with the engine," and we realize that someone had stolen the catalytic converter out of the car. So the catalytic converter is a bunch of like rare earth metals. It runs from there's like a pipe that runs underneath the car, and it turns like, some noxious gases into something inert, and it's part of the exhaust. So, and the way to steal it is you undo these two bolts and you cut the pipe, and you can take that. And people do this in Los Angeles. I don't know what it is. For some reason, normally this is like not worth stealing. The rare earth metals that are in there are like worth $10, but I think you can sell the whole unit for like thousands of dollars. Okay, the catalytic converter costs more than the entire car itself. So they stole this thing in front of my aunt's house, and this is the craziest part. They called the cops. And because it's a nice neighborhood, the cops not only showed up, they solved the crime. I didn't know cops could do that.
That never happens.
That never happens.
Cops don't solve crimes.
No. Usually you give a report to a cop and you're just telling them a fun story. Okay, that's not.
Exactly.
It's just a fun story for them. They go, "Oh, okay, well, you have a nice day, ma'am."
Yeah, and they write it in their like little notepad that's this thick. There's nothing on there.
There's nothing on there. It's just a bunch of Pokemon cards. But no, they solved it. They caught these guys. Apparently, they had caught them the night before. They were going around stealing catalytic converters because, like, I don't know what it is. Like, there's a certain model of car that they want. They want, like, Toyotas and stuff. So, or Hondas. And they caught these dudes, and they got the catalytic converter back. So it's this giant thing. It's like 5 feet long, and it's just like sitting on this, like, on the dining table. She's like, "We got it back." Turns out, all these dudes, all these criminals, Vietnamese dudes. Okay,
damn.
I don't know if it's the same guys. We have a working theory that it's the same guys. The first people, like maybe they like. Looked at.
She remembers the first couple being Vietnamese or Asian.
I think she assumed they were, right, because of where they were and everything like that. And they were afraid because, like, they got like IDs and stuff, right, in the purse. And so they're like, maybe they followed us
So
back.
the address. They have
Yeah,
the address.
maybe they went back to the address. They're like, whatever, and they saw the thing, and they stole some catalytic converters. And so this always goes back to me, you know, like people of color, sometimes our worst enemy is ourselves. Okay?
Oh, yeah.
We steal from each other. We steal from ourselves. Okay? We're not out there trying to steal from white people. Don't worry. All right? We're going to steal from other Vietnamese people. So it was just like insane. And it was just crazy, this whole cycle of things. Not only that there was crime happening, but that actually the crime got solved. I guess you could call it solving. But like, you know, it's just what like Mad Max world of Los Angeles is this? It was crazy. That was my story.
I'm assuming like it's not easy to put that shit back, right? Now your mom has to make an appointment, and like I don't even know how she's gonna get the car there. She has to probably get it towed there or something.
So I think in the grand circle of life, right? Vietnamese people stole it. Vietnamese people will fix it. And so she knows a guy, a Vietnamese mechanic. I mean, he's gonna do it, and he's gonna get paid in persimmons, and it's gonna be cool, man. Okay, and it's gonna be a beautiful story. I don't know. She's got to get it, and she's got to like get rid of that car because. Fucking
well, I'm glad your mom's okay. I mean, that first thing is mad scary. But like older Asian women get taken, like that happens everywhere, man. Like I remember when I was younger, my grandma was like, this is back in Japan. She was like riding her bike, and then like a student riding his bike the opposite direction. He just reached in because she has her like you know in Asia they have like baskets in the front, and she put her purse there. He just took it, pushed her bike over, and then just kept riding. You know. Yeah, I mean, it's just like that shit happens all the time, you know. And there's like, you know, your mom's not gonna run after these guys, you know. It's
no,
like,
of course not.
It's sad. It's really
You're
sad.
Totally right. I mean, you know, like we talk about stop Asian hate. We got to stop Asian self-hate. That's what we need to do.
Oh, there we go.
Right?
There we go. Yeah.
Right?
Asian on Asian crime. Asian on Asian crime, dude.
Asian on Asian, not Asian Asian crime.
But also kind of your fault because you wanted that pho.
You actually did think that. Maybe this is all my fault. This is all my fault because I wanted that
like, pho. I don't know if I'm stupid. I still don't understand what it means to load up a car with pho. Like it comes in a bag. I don't like. Did she get an industrial size thing of soup for the
because of how my family rolls, okay, and how it is. Whenever somebody wants one thing, you got to order for everybody. So she had like 4 orders of pho. That's like 18 gallons of broth. You know, like she's loading it up. And I will say, totally worth it because that pho is delicious.
That pho was good.
It was so fucking good. You guys got to go pho 79.
I'm literally imagining you like your mom is telling you this story.
Yeah, and I'm just like, no, what? Yeah. Pass the sriracha. Oh yeah. Oh, it's so sad, but totally worth it. Anyways, I was a victim Asian. How about you? What kind of Asian were you this week?
This week I was a white guy Asian, man. I'm always a white guy Asian. Sometimes I be white guy Asian.
Sometimes you be white guy Asian.
It's tough, man. I think I was a white guy Asian once. I think I talked about this on a podcast. So like,
what do you mean once? Your like whole life is that? What do you mean?
Well, today, okay. So like something has been happening in my brain where like because of part of my job is to write these like monologue jokes for the middle of America, and monologue jokes are like just by definition. It's like a little vanilla, you know. You can't be too crazy with it.
It's got to be accessible,
Just by definition, it's that way. It's got
to work, right?
And it's really not my style of comedy. And I think over the last 6 months or so, like I've trained myself to write better monologue jokes for the middle American family. And when I tap into that energy, sometimes I feel like there's another writer inside of my brain. I call him Jeff Myers. He's just like he's just like a white guy from Ohio. And sometimes I write something and I'm like, I didn't write that. Jeff Myers wrote that.
I was looking at the outline that we had for today, and you had written down Jeff Myers, and I was like, oh, must be some new comic I've never heard of. And I was like looking him up, and I was like trying to find Jeff Myers, and I was like, this is nothing. This is leading me to a whole bunch of like barbecue blogs. Yeah, and
you know how Beyonce has Sasha Fierce? I have Jeff Myers.
This guy's got cargo shorts on, man. Hell yeah, dude, bro.
So I wrote this joke that I was like, I didn't even think it was that funny, but like it got written up on the New York Times.
Oh shit!
And this is the joke, and I was so. I mean, it's like the joke is whatever, but I was like, sometimes I feel I'm losing myself during the show because I'm like writing for somebody else.
Jeff Myers wrote it. Yeah.
Jeff Myers wrote it, bro. This was the joke. This is the joke.
I want to hear it. Go, hit me.
The joke. Okay, the premise is Biden is having a meeting with Justin Trudeau and the president of Mexico.
Sure.
And this is true. He's calling it the Three Amigos Summit. That's what he's calling it. Okay, that's the premise. And my joke was, which is still better than what Biden wanted to call it originally, which is meeting La Vida Loca. That was the joke.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
That's got Jeff Myers written all over it.
That's Jeff Myers.
That's Jeff Myers. Man. The classic Jeff Myers bit.
Okay?
Great.
That's not a FUMI bit. Okay. And sometimes I have these moments where I think of these jokes and I'm like, you know, last week we were talking about like off-brand jokes, like jokes that you come up with and you're like, oh, I can never say that.
That would never.
Really,
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. I've been having these Jeff Myers. Sometimes Jeff Myers takes over and it's like a scary thing. This is also another Jeff Myers joke that came into my head the other day. Somebody was asking me what Mangosteen was. You know what Mangosteen is?
No. It sounds really familiar. What is that?
Mangosteen, it's a Southeast Asian fruit. I used to have
yes,
it all the time
yes,
when I lived in
yes,
Singapore.
yes.
It's like
Yes.
a cousin of.
Yep.
And somebody was like, what's Mangosteen? And Jeff Myers in my head was like, Mangosteen is like mango, but it's Jewish. And I was like, nope, that's not a food. That's a Jeff Myers joke. You know what I'm saying? So
that's one of Jeff Myers' more edgy jokes too.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? He met a
yeah.
Jewish fellow once when he went to Philly, and he's like, they're nice people, you know. So yeah,
but I get scared when Jeff comes out sometimes, you know, because I sometimes I feel like I'm losing myself. I'm losing myself to Jeff.
Yo, you ever watch Venom? You ever watch that movie Venom?
Yeah. It's terrible.
And
but
he's
it's
got the
awful movie, by the way.
symbiote. He's got the symbiote who's like telling him to like eat livers. You got Jeff Myers, and Jeff Myers is like, come on, man, come on, go, come on, get a Coors Light, get a Coors Light.
Yeah. So, anyways, that was I was a white guy Asian this week, and I would love to ask our guest what kind of Asian he was this week. Our guest this week, we're so excited to have him. He is an Emmy award-winning writer and comedian. He's currently a writer for Last Week Tonight with John Oliver. He's a fellow late night Asian, which is why I have my James Corden mug just to show him what's up. Okay?
What's up?
So what's up? This is my turf. This is Bloods versus Crips. Okay, but it's late night. He was actually a fan of us before we really became anything. He used to write about us on Vulture. So we really have to. He's the best. Please welcome to the show the hilarious Mark Kramer.
Mark Kramer.
Hey.
How are you guys?
Good, man.
We're getting victimized, and we're having a good time. Fucking Jeff Myers.
Jeff Myers is here.
Jeff Myers is here. Shout out to Jeff Myers.
The sad thing is that Jeff Myers is like infinitely more hireable than you, Fumi.
I
know. You should send out. You should have a Jeff Myers resume. You know that you send out. Yeah. You know that's good. That's good.
I should have a separate like notepad for Jeff Myers jokes, and like we should have a segment on the show called White Guy Jokes, and we should just do white guy jokes.
Yes.
Yeah, we'll end up renaming the show like Jeff Myers, not Jeff Myers.
Yeah. Mark, well, you heard what kind of Asians we were this week. What kind of Asian were you this week, Mark?
Yeah, I have been a teenager Asian this week.
Hey.
Hell yeah. I am currently, this is day 3 of me back on Staten Island at my mom's house. I'm recording from her guest room closet.
Wow.
I don't know if you guys feel this way, but like whenever you're back home visiting your parents, like you get in this mode where you're like a kid again, and they treat you like not a 32-year-old guy that is a professional comedy writer anymore, and they just you argue over every little thing again like when you were kids. And you let her cook meals for you all the time, which is great. My mom's great. It's just a matter of like, you know, this is like you shrink back to who you were again.
You are, yeah, I get it. Do you still have your bedroom and everything like that? Is all
no,
set up
this is a different house, but I happen to be in the closet where my mom stuffed all the shit that my brother and I didn't want to get rid of, but she doesn't want in the house. So it's got like all of our baseball jerseys, all of our fucking old stuff, our comic books, like everything that we refuse to throw out, but she wants to get rid of.
I always feel that my mom will, no matter what the occasion that I came home for, it's like, oh, our grandfather just passed away, or it's somebody's wedding or whatever. My mom will always stick in what I call the task, something she's saved for me that's dirty, like a dirty job that she's like, Mike, I know you're wearing a tuxedo right now for your sister's wedding, but we need to clear out all these leaves now. You know, it's been 2 years. And I'm just like, Mom, are you serious? Just pay someone to do it. I don't want to do it. And she's like, you're here now. Mark, I mean, I'm glad that you're at home. I assume you're there for the holiday, but you know, tell the fans, because we can see where you are. It looks like you're in some sort of bunker, but you're at your mom's house, and you're in Staten Island, where you grew up.
I am in Staten Island, where I grew up. Not my favorite place in the world.
Do you really mean that? Because I think a lot of people say that about their hometown because it's like racist or problematic. But like, is it a love-hate thing, or do you legit not like it?
I mean, like any hometown, you find the things that you like, which is mostly food here.
Right.
I mean,
right.
There's great Italian food, there's great pizza, and there's great Ralph's Italian Ices. Is the fucking rules. But everything else I could lose, honestly.
You need like 3 things.
Yeah.
I mean,
you're like more cruel than God. It's like, okay, we'll build an ark and pizza, ice, and nothing else. Everybody else, fuck off.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm not the only one. Like I'm a Filipino Jewish guy from Staten Island. Like Pete Davidson has once said that like he wished Staten Island would like wash away in a flood, which did not go over well here. But it's not people who grew up here. Either they stay here and this is their favorite place in the world, and they put up a Blue Lives Matter flag all around the neighborhood.
Man.
Wow. Yeah.
Well, just so like our fans can get to like know you a little bit, we had Peter Rivella on like a couple months ago, and he's a white guy who grew up in Staten Island, so he gave us a little background about that. But like, can you just tell us real quick, like, what was it like growing up in Staten Island as like a Filipino Jewish dude?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, it was bad, but like. The Jewish side was like just as bad as the other side. Like
really?
Yeah, like there was like hardcore anti-Semitism here.
Fuck.
There was one kid who was like half Italian and half Jewish, and I remember in middle school, like the kids would beat him up and then say, "There's no way you're half Italian, you're half Jewish," because they wouldn't mix the best race with the worst one.
Whoa!
Oh,
Jesus!
My God!
Brutal.
Wow. Let's get that flood going.
I always forget that Staten Island racism is like the major leagues, and I feel like where I grew up in Ohio, it's like minor leagues. You know what I'm saying? Because that's straight up like hate crime language. Like where I grew up, they were like, "Your eyes are funny." That's some AAA, Columbus Clippers kind of shit. This is New York Yankees racism, and that's really intense.
And they're like, you don't learn that in middle school. Like there's not a class for that. They're getting it from their parents.
Yeah.
And so it was a lot of that, like even and that stuff exists today still. Like I was driving around yesterday, there was like a little table set up where it looks like in front of a CVS where it looks like where someone would be selling Girl Scout cookies, and there when we got closer, there was a big sign that said "Let's Go Brandon," and they were selling like "Let's Go Brandon" flyers and stuff. Yeah, it's still happening, but like growing up, it was just it was like fully Italian Irish. I would lie and say that I was part Sicilian because Sicilians are darker.
Yeah, there you go.
I
think that's a good strategy. I would buy that too. You do have did you grow? How early did you start growing a mustache? Because I feel that also kind of helps. Huh?
No, that was just like 2 years ago. But I did have a haircut. I had the Staten Island haircut. Yeah.
Okay.
Wait,
cool.
What's the Staten Island haircut? Is that like the Pauly D?
Yes, the Pauly D full
shaved
like,
and then gel.
Yes.
Did you have a gold chain and everything, like to try to blend in or anything like that?
It was silver. Yes, but at the place where I got my haircut, also, after 6 p.m. they would start playing pornos on the TV.
I just love that. I'm just like it's like 5:58 and they're like, guys, come on, let's get classy, okay?
After
and
dark.
then just the crazy anal porn stuff would start.
I thought aren't there? I heard that there were actually like a decent amount of Asians in Staten Island because like June Chung is from there. Is there not like a Korean population there because of Staten Island Tech and some of the better schools out there?
I did go to Staten Island Tech.
There we go.
Yeah.
There we go.
Shit.
There were like a fair amount of Asians at Staten Island Tech, but that's because that school, like people from all over the island go to that school. But like where I grew up on the South Shore of Staten Island, it's all Italian and Irish. That's it. So like I didn't meet like another Asian person until like high school, pretty much.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
I would. I mean, so I have to. This kind of begs the question. Okay, you're Filipino and Jewish. You're a cute little kid. Okay,
yeah, you're real
adorable.
cute.
Yeah, can't
Go to
believe
YouTube.
you're adorable.
Real cute.
You're adorable.
But he's taken, ladies.
But
down, ladies.
But I want to say, why did your parents go there? How good are these real estate prices? If they're like, you know what, hate crimes are worth it. For a 3-bedroom, are you kidding me? I'm in there.
Yeah, that's a good question. Like, I need to ask my mom that. Like, my dad lived in Brooklyn, and my mom,
Sure.
who came here as a nurse in like '86 or something, and they met, and then they had got pregnant with me, and then moved to Staten Island. I think maybe just we don't want to raise a kid in Brooklyn.
As a crazy social experiment of just let's try to raise the toughest kid in the world. Like what?
Well, I don't think that like mixed race parents, especially in the 80s, we're not prepared for any of this,
Ooh, that's a good point.
There was no guide to how to talk about this with your kids, and I did not get that. I definitely did not get that talk. And I think that's what I've been unpacking as an adult is okay, yeah, when I have kids, we got to figure this out because it was just such shame and lying and everything, and trying to manage how I'm presenting myself to different people because of where I grew up, and I'm sure Fumi, you grew up in a white neighborhood too, right? So I'm sure to some extent you were trying to code switch.
Oh, 100%. Yeah. I mean, it's the reason why I play lacrosse, and I mean, why? I'm 120 pounds. Why would I play lacrosse?
Lacrosse is the equivalent. That's the Ohio equivalent of saying you're Sicilian.
Yeah.
Don't worry. From the family. I play lacrosse. Okay, that was weird. Okay.
You. I think you said in a podcast or maybe an interview or something that you feel more culturally Italian because of where you grew up. But is that something that you're trying to sort of analyze and not embrace as much now that you're in your 30s and you're trying to because I feel a lot of people who grew up in that kind of environment, we come out as Asian in our 30s, you know what I mean? And do you still feel that way about being more culturally Italian?
Oh, no, I do not feel that way. I think I like to say that I became Italian through osmosis just from absorbing it.
Oh, yeah.
But, yeah, I think, going down that route and just being friends with white people and all that shit led me to bad depression and all that shit that comes with suppressing your identity. And similar to you, Fumi, I studied accounting and finance and worked at a Big Four accounting firm after college.
Did you?
Ooh, which one?
KPMG, baby.
Hey! Whoa, yeah!
That's the one.
And that's the magic word for today. All this confetti comes down. You guys can't see it, but there's this confetti in Mark's closet now.
We've been waiting to get a KPMG guy on this podcast.
Oh my gosh, I didn't know. Yeah, wow.
Years.
Okay.
Yeah.
First of all, how do I get a job there? That's the first thing. Okay, and then no. Okay, I mean, so that's interesting. I mean, did you feel you got this you're trying to assimilate into this Italian culture, but you still got it sounds like a little bit of that Asian immigrant, I gotta go get a good old CPA type of job. You have a CPA, right?
I did. I passed all 4 parts, and then I did not send in the paperwork because I was I don't want to do this with my life.
Oh my God.
If I send in the paperwork, then I'll have to do it.
Yeah, you have
so
to do it.
I just never sent in the paperwork, and I never told my parents I did that either.
Oh shit!
Yeah.
Oh shit!
Wow.
Well, it's not too late. Okay, you still have the paperwork. We still have it, so you can send it. So,
my
tell
mom
me
will
then,
encourage me, even though I have an Emmy, my mom will tell me to go apply to CPA jobs when I am unemployed next, whenever that is.
Yeah, no, we're gonna get definitely to the fact that the CPA is far more valuable in the mind of an Asian parent than
it's true.
An Emmy. Come on, we sell that on eBay. Come on. So I mean, I want to talk about, how'd you get into doing, comedy? Now you're a comedy writer. You used to write for Vulture. It sounds like you were doing this, but what's the sort of timeline? Were you working and doing actuary tables in the day and then also writing comedy at night? Because sort of what was that process? Yeah. It's kind of sweet.
I was doing just the KPMG thing, and as you the hours are insane, and you don't have time to do anything else besides go to happy hour later and complain about the job. That's what everybody does there. That's the cycle of depression and alcoholism. So and so I was doing that, and actually what the last straw for that for me was I got put on this project where it was it was after the financial crisis, and it was this company that was supposed to be paying us, that got government money that was supposed to be paying us to double check that they didn't give out bad mortgages. So
Sure.
The stuff from The Big Short.
Yeah.
So, but they were paying a team of 20 people to do absolutely nothing. They had no work for us. So
wow.
We sat in a basement for 8 to 9 months. My friend watched all Breaking Bad at his desk.
Oh my God.
We would go to the movies during work time, down the block. like an idiot. That's the time I used to study for the CPA exam. And then
What?
Oh my God.
I know.
You could have been writing a great pilot, bro.
I know. So yeah, it was bullshit, and I was just like, this is insane. I'm just wasting my life in a windowless basement, like
Literally
doing nothing and getting paid fine. Like, yeah, sure, I'm getting paid, and I know that many people would kill to be in that position to do nothing and get paid like decent money. But I was just like, I can't like see myself doing this in 2 years, let alone 50 years from now. And so I kind of just, and then I kind of just like tried to figure out what can I do. I knew like I liked writing from just, like high school and stuff. I ended up like finding like an entry-level advertising job after that, which like gave me way more time. And then that's when I started like taking UCB classes and stuff. I'd sketch classes, eventually like got on a sketch team at the Pit, and then we would just have our meetings at my office, the advertising office.
Dude, yes.
Oh my God, we did that, Mike.
What agency did you work for?
Yeah, it was Universal McCann.
Yeah, I worked at McCann. There you go.
Oh, shit.
I worked at McCann.
We were probably in the same building.
We were probably in the same building, and I would definitely hold tons of meetings at this McCann building. I mean, that's like the big value of that is just like, is like you can fuck around and have people come over, and like the senior people kind of turn a blind eye to it. They're just like, whatever, I don't care. I'm getting drunk and having an affair with the intern. So like, that's what they're doing.
Yeah, it's great. My sketch team like would get to eat the leftover food from all the meetings.
That's so funny, dude. I literally all of our sketches that me and Mike filmed from like 2006. It's all in my office at Columbus Circle. All of them.
All
we
of
would
our
film
shit.
sketches on the weekends. We kind of wanted to ask you about. Okay, so what I found is, Mike and I, we do stand up, and that's kind of our like main mode of transportation to other jobs and stuff. But when I first got to the writing room at Corden, I was so shocked that like there were so few stand-ups, and a lot of people were just like, "Yep, I'm just a writer," and I'm like, "Oh, are you big on Twitter?" They're like, no, and I'm like, "Do you do improv?" They're like, no. I'm like, "I'm just a writer," and I know you did a little bit of sketch, but I'm just genuinely curious to know like how did you kind of like stand out? Because I feel, at least with stand-up, you can get a late night set or a Comedy Central set and kind of be like, hey, this is me doing something on television. But if you're just like a writer, I have no idea how you even break into the industry, because this is an industry that has like such a high barrier to entry. Honestly, probably harder than getting into Harvard, if I'm being completely honest. Like, it's very, very hard to get into. So yeah, I just wanted to kind of like, this is just for my curiosity, but how do you even like go about doing something like that?
If the good thing is, if you do get into Harvard, then it's very easy to get into this industry.
That is true. That is true. 100%.
Yeah.
100%.
So first, get into Harvard. That's the easy part, is to get into Harvard. Part. That's the first step. Yeah.
That's hilarious.
That's great.
I think I just got really lucky with like a bunch of things. Like a sketch that I wrote got into like an NBC sketch showcase thing that like. Then I got into the Late Night Writers Workshop because they knew me. And then the Late Night Writers Workshop is like a thing that trains you to write for late night. That's all it is. And then I go from that to like, then I was a writer's assistant at WWE for a little bit. And then like, which gave me a lot of stories to talk to people about. And then I went from that to like working on, I was writing for Vulture this whole time. Then I like, through Vulture, like I got connected with Keenan Thompson, and we worked on a project together, and that was really cool.
Whoa, yeah, that's awesome.
And so I just like lucked into a series of things. I guess like the writing was strong enough to like get the attention of like certain people, and then eventually like I was just submitting packets constantly. Like the Last Week Tonight packet was like my 26th packet, I think, that I'd done, and that's just like the game. That's like that's just how you like stay in how you get one of these jobs is just to like fucking apply.
Just apply.
Right.
Yeah.
So I mean, like it is interesting because I mean I haven't done that many packets, but I've submitted a bunch, and actually I was surprised to find that most writers in late night, but also in a lot of different places are not stand-ups, right? And people are sometimes surprised to hear that too. And I always have to think like, stand-up is kind of like a different art form. Yes, you know how to write jokes, but to like put together a packet is in and of itself kind of its own skill. And I was submitting a bunch, and this is during the pandemic, so I got depressed, but I didn't want to submit anymore. I remember there was one that went out, and I remember typing this thing.
The Jon Stewart one?
Oh my God. the essay there was like a monologue thing you're supposed to write. And I swear to God that last half of it was just me complaining to whoever would read this. I was like, please send help. You know, like I just couldn't do it. And I don't know, how do you kind of stay fresh? Because for me as a stand-up, you know, I try to focus on, you know, oh, this is like a fun thing I'm going to try tonight. You know, I'm going to do this. And that keeps me grounded in the process of like, I'm going to write this fun bit. Or sometimes I just focus on the performance aspect and just like, I'm going to have fun, try to have fun tonight. But like when I'm writing these packets, I'm like, okay, this is like, you know, the 500th monologue joke I got to write. And I got to come up with this weird desk bit. And then I got to also submit something else. And it got so mechanical for me, you know, and again, I haven't written that many, but you know, how do you try to keep it fresh in your mind? You know, what's the process for a person who's just at their desk?
Yeah, that's like, I hear that question from so many people now because like, you know, the jobs are so few and far between that like when they do come, especially the Jon Stewart thing, there are so many people applying and you see the tweets and you're just like, why am I even bothering with this? Like there's like a million people applying. I think like and like this is gonna sound lame, but like just trying to be like, all right, if like there's like one joke in here that's funnier than whatever I submitted on the last packet, like that means I'm getting better at this, and then that means that the next packet will be better than this one, and also like trying to get as many people to read it as you can and like get notes on your stuff too, even if like even after you submit it and then, you know, did it get rejected, like still even asking people just to be like, hey, just like how can I improve this, because you know nobody's gonna submit a perfect packet. And like what you were saying about your just trying to be fun with the performance or whatever, I think that's what like you got to do in a package, just like have fun with it, because if you're not, if you're just trying to like, I'm just gonna write these like boring monologue jokes that are in the voice of whoever, like that's, you know, it's not gonna, like, you're not gonna have fun and they're not gonna have fun reading it. And then your voice is not going to come out. Like, the trickiest part with these late night jobs, as you were just talking about, Fumi, with Jeff Myers, like, it's just hard. It's, like, so hard to get in the voice of a different person.
Yes.
As when your cultural experience is so much different from them.
Oh, yeah. I mean, do you find that, like, how's that been for you? I mean, obviously, like, it's. I think it's something you can learn how to do. But as a stand-up, sometimes it's scary because I don't want to lose my voice, but I don't know. I'm curious to hear what you think, because maybe as a writer, if you're just a writer person, you want to kind of be like a Swiss Army knife and be like, I can write for this and her, and you know what I mean? Like all over the place, where I want to be able to do that, but also like my main knife, my fucking katana, that's the Fumi katana. That's the most important one. You know what I mean? So I want to always, I don't know if that makes sense, but like that's what I'm always afraid of, is I don't want to be that guy who just gets really good at writing for this one person.
For other people. Yeah.
Well, what is Jeff Myers' weapon? Like a hunting knife or something?
No, Jeff Myers is like the you know the fork you use when you barbecue and you're like turning.
Yeah.
He's got that guy.
That's
Jeff
Myers.
It's not a katana blade. That's Jeff Myers.
I think like it's just like you have to develop both skills. I think you know like and the sad part is about like late night now is like you have to, like, the odds are you'll be writing for a white guy, like a white older guy, and like I'm very happy at my show. Like John's great and everybody's is awesome.
Disclaimer.
But like you know, it's just like that's just the landscape right now, and hopefully that'll change in a few years. Hopefully one of you guys will have a fucking desk, but like you know, I think that it's just like unfortunately a skill that like needs to be like both of them. And I think to like keep my own voice going, I'm working on like pilots of my own and stuff in my free time and trying to like keep that skill sharp.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah, working on that voice CPA, you know, right? That's what you're doing, right?
Exactly.
As you're doing your thing.
Yeah, you can, those things, like I find some like a little bit of like in pilots, like it's a lot of I was able to study for the CPA. It's a lot of like, okay, this, you got to do this, and then you got to do this. It's like a very structured thing.
Yeah.
Like, the only thing I miss from these old jobs is Microsoft Excel.
Are you a big Excel guy?
I love Excel. There's like an art form to it. You get to like
100%.
You make like a nice pivot table, or like you get some good formulas, and you get real
little conditional formatting.
Yes,
100%.
Oh my god, it's the best.
Yeah,
I truly believe Microsoft Excel is like one of the most important contributions like Bill Gates has ever released into this world. Like, it really changed the way people work, and I still like, even to this day, like I remember like when I had roommates. I got really excited about making a Google Sheet expense sheet so that we can all put in our expenses, and I would put in formulas that would divide it by like equal and tell us how much we need to Venmo each other. I do miss that about these writing jobs. No, not a lot of Excel at Corden. I'll be honest with you.
Not a lot of Excel.
Not a lot of Excel happening.
You got to make like a formula for the punchlines.
Oh, dude, I 100% think there could be something like that. If you figure, like an if-then statement that you throw in there, and then, and then my favorite thing is always my favorite function is concatenate. I love concatenate. I don't know why.
Why? Oh. Why? When do you? Why?
I just love it. It's like such a big word for something so simple.
That's the one that like puts the words together.
Yeah. It just put things together. Yeah. It's the best. I don't know why. I've also have never heard that word outside of Excel before. I almost think that it's a word that Excel made up to put this together, and I was like, this is not real. This is crazy. I love it. We're now the Microsoft Excel podcast, and if you're enjoying it, please subscribe.
We do want to ask you this too, because you work for John Oliver, and you cover like John Oliver gets into the news like real deep. You'll cover one topic for like 30 minutes real deep, and just as an example, there's been a lot of bad news this week, and I feel like at least at my show is less like racial injustice headlines, more trees that look like penis headlines, because that's just kind of like James' vibe.
That's just the vibe.
But John Oliver is like, let's talk about stop Asian hate. Let's talk about
assault rifles.
Just the American justice system, the court system, and how do you fucking stay sane through all that? Because you do have to go every week. Every week is the John Oliver
same thing. Yeah,
John Oliver covers the saddest shit every week. Very rarely do I see you guys covering a tree that looks like a penis. That's really fun.
You guys need to get more into that. Yeah.
Yeah, it is very debatable whether we have a comedy show or not. But I think, it's like we're on hiatus right now, and that's when I completely disconnect from the news. I try to like stay off social media as much as I can, and like even during the season when I'm like not working on something that's like topical to that week, I'll just try to not look at the news. And I mean, sometimes it's unavoidable, obviously, but like it's just exhausting, and you just gotta like take care of yourself and watch like a shitty action movie from the 80s to like cleanse from a lot of that.
What's the move? What's the shitty action 80s movie?
I mean, on the plane over, I was watching Predator, the original Predator.
Classic original Predator.
You can't beat that movie.
Yeah, you son of a bitch. Yeah, yeah, fuck yeah, dude.
Hell yeah,
that's a good one. I'm a Commando guy.
Oh,
you ever
Commando
watch
rules.
Commando? Where at the beginning, and he like cuts down the tree and then carries it on his shoulder.
Yes, and then he picks up the telephone booth and throws it at the mall.
Yeah, you know how you learn that in Delta Force? Like, okay, we're gentlemen, we're going to pick up phone booths and throw that tactical move.
John
I love
Matrix is his name.
Yeah, John Matrix is his name. So it's crazy to me too. We're doing all sorts of research, and I finally followed you back on Instagram. I apologize for not following you back.
Mike, you have been disrespecting your guests left and right.
I'm real bad.
I'll be honest with you. Last week he was like, we had Dana Dolly on. He was like, you know what? I fucking blocked you.
I blocked Dana for a while.
I couldn't stand it. She said that to her face.
I did. She was just because you know what it was. It was like I was like I didn't realize that this was just a character, and she's actually a very sweet person. So now I follow her.
Yeah.
And so here's what fucked me up though is that somebody told me about having a good ratio, and now I'm always obsessed with that. I'm like, oh, am I following too many people?
That conversation is so 2017.
I got in the game. You're right.
Mark, we read that. This has nothing to do with anything we're talking about. We read that when you first started comedy, you were writing some problematic sketches.
We got problematic
that had to do with Asians.
Yeah.
And we wanted to ask you what they were, because I feel with Asian jokes don't age really well because everything's moving so fast. Do you know what I'm talking about?
I don't.
This is just. Well, I don't know where we got this from, Mike. Our producer said you wrote some problematic sketches, and we're like, let's see what that was. Did you write any sketches with Asian characters in 2015? I bet they're problematic by default.
In 2015, I think what she had seen maybe was a sketch we had written. It doesn't have to do with Asian characters, I don't think, but it was a Minion sketch.
Already problematic. Yep.
Yes, very problematic. Basically, and so for our sketch show, one of the writers had 2 kids. And so we did the show for the kids, and in my Minion sketch, It was just like 3 people dressed as minions, doing like minion stuff on stage in minion language, but we had like subtitles behind them, and they were doing all fucked up stuff, like saying they were working for ISIS and all that kind of stuff.
That's not problematic.
Yeah,
that's funny.
because
that's
the kids couldn't
That's
read.
funny.
Yeah, I think
okay, I
there
love
was
that.
something about a minion clitoris in there. I think. Maybe
Okay,
that,
there you go. That's good. That's good. I like that. I like that. Yeah, as soon as you said minion clitoris, we were just like, nope, not problematic. Good to go. Good to go.
Yeah.
Completely fine.
Do you have, Mike, do you have any expired Asian jokes?
I do have. I would love to do my Asian accent joke again. I can't.
I don't think that's expired.
I don't know. I'm just careful with it. I feel it's kind of like uranium. Yeah, maybe in a certain form it's safe.
Yeah.
And in other forms,
Yes.
it could like, become fucking like, it'll turn me into ash or whatever.
I could just see like a Asian Gen Z audience member taping it and then just taping your accent part and then canceling you on TikTok. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
I feel if you, it's one of those things. If you got to experience the whole thing. If you experience just a part of it, you'll turn into dust. But if you hear the whole thing, you get raised to another level. I have no idea.
Yeah.
Just like
I mean
uranium.
Did listeners know that joke? I feel like that joke really elevated you to the next level back in the open mic days.
It did. It really did. And I don't know if it's because white people thought it was really funny. You know what I'm saying?
See,
I always think about that.
That's the thing.
I always think about that. It worked every time, and I've done it.
But you don't know why they're laughing. I'm
I
laughing
don't.
for the same reason you're laughing, but they might be laughing because of the acoustics of the accent.
Yes,
right? Just you doing an accent, and that's problematic.
And the thing for me is that I try to make it so that it's clear that this is not a real accent. I do a racist accent on purpose. Do you know? But then. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. It might be too. I don't even say powerful. It's like you got a vial full of Ebola. Okay, maybe. Yeah. You don't want to be carrying that around.
It is.
Yeah, how about you?
It is scary. Yeah. This isn't like a huge joke, but I used to have this throwaway line where I would say like, I have a girlfriend. She's white, and I'd be like, thank you so much, and people would laugh because back then it's like, oh haha, like because nobody wants to date Asian guys. But you can actually update. I think I'm all about updating shit. Now you can be like, I have a white girlfriend, and that's on me. I'm sorry about that.
Yeah.
You can say that because you can flip it because now white women aren't popular. So like, I feel like you could take a lot of the premises. You can like update it. So I don't know. Maybe you can update your accent joke.
Maybe
I don't know.
so. I'd have to do it in like a very safe like level 4 bio lab. I don't know what that looks like, but maybe it's just you guys in a closed room and you guys sign NDAs. And then I could try it. That's the only way.
Yeah.
I'm down.
Let's talk about the gift that keeps on giving. Hello Tushy Bidet. It cleans your butt way better than wiping, cuts your toilet paper use down by 80%, saves trees, and all the thousands of gallons of water used to convert them into toilet paper. And it comes with a book full of poop jokes. My butt is in love. Guys, here at Asian Not Asian, we love Tushy. Mike and I both use it. And if you're wondering, guys, why are you guys always in sync? Why are you guys, the banter is amazing. You guys are so freaking funny. What is your secret? Well, it's because we have clean butts. That is our secret. The Hello Tushy Bidet washes your bum with fresh water for a way better clean than toilet paper. Make the restroom your best room with the complete Tushy system, including the Tushy Bidet attachment ottoman. It's got an ottoman, oh my god. Toilet brush and Tushy stand and tissues. Join the millions of happy Hello Tushy customers right now who take care of their Yule logs the dignified way. Give the gift of a clean bum to yourself and your loved ones this holiday season and get 10% off plus free shipping right now at hellotushy.com/ANA. That's hellotushy.com/ANA for 10% off and free shipping.
Whoa, what was that? Dang, that's
what
crazy.
is that sound?
It's nice.
It's the sound of another sale on Shopify, the all-in-one commerce platform to start, run, and grow your business. Shopify gives entrepreneurs the resources once reserved for big business, so upstarts, startups, and established businesses alike can sell everywhere, synchronized online and in-person sales, and effortlessly stay informed.
Scaling your business is a journey of endless possibility. I love how Shopify has the tools and resources to make it easy for any business to succeed from down the street to around the globe. Like mine, Shopify powers over 1.7 million businesses, from first sale to full scale.
Reach customers online and across social networks with an ever-growing suite of channel integrations and apps, including Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Pinterest, and more.
Gain insights as you grow with detailed reporting of conversion rates, profit margins, and beyond.
More than a store, Shopify grows with you.
This is Possibility, powered by Shopify.
Go to shopify.com/Asian, all lowercase, for a free 14-day trial and get full access to Shopify's entire suite of features.
Grow your business with Shopify today. Go to shopify.com/Asian right now.
Shopify.com/Asian.
So speaking of things kind of evolving and changing, we're going to get to everyone's favorite segment. It is Das Race News.
Hey.
And today we're going to talk about, the Sesame Street debuts. I'm going to read this from AP. Sesame Street debuts Ji-young, first Asian American Muppet. Okay, and at 7 years old, Ji-young is making history as the first Asian American Muppet in the Sesame Street canon. She is Korean American and has two passions: rocking out on her electric guitar and skateboarding. The children's TV program, which aired 50 years ago, they kind of go and talk to her about it. So it's cool. I mean, it's super cute. Ji-young. I think too, it was good because they made this person Korean American, like very specifically Asian American. So into playing guitar and into skateboarding. She already sounds like a cool Gen Z kid who has more Instagram followers than us. And I love it. I'm a big fan. I don't know, Mark, have you heard about this?
Yeah, I heard about it. I mean, it's cool. Sesame Street is not for me. Like, I'm not watching Sesame Street still. So, like, I get it. I get that, like, this is cool for, like, kids who are watching it. And it's great for, like, this generation growing up. I also think it's kind of weird that, like, we're specifying, like, her race and then, like, Ernie's just like Ernie, and Oscar the Grouch is just like a garbage person, and so we're to assume that like they're just default puppet or whatever that default is, which is, if we're doing this like comparison to race, then that's white, and then it just like feels like then we're not talking about like what race means, like connected with other races. It's just like, and this is just one Korean person that hangs out with Big Bird,
right? Great point.
I don't know how Sesame Street work. Like, are there other characters whose races are revealed, like somebody who's African American, or is that a thing, or is she the only one? It's like, because I know they're like, because I always assumed Sesame Street was kind of like any children's show where it's like there's some humans and there's some creatures, and the creatures they're not any race because it's like a bird or like a guy who lives in a trash can, and then the humans can have races. So do they not do like? Is Bert not? I don't know. He's yellow, but is she the only person? They're like, this is
no.
Korean
There are Muppets of different races.
Okay.
Sometimes they, I think previously they may not have been like, like really identifiably a certain race, but like they're either like supposed to be this race, or like it's kind of like the things they talk about are about a certain race. So it's not, and for sure, diversity is like a thing that Sesame Street always does. Like all the humans that are on there are like all the different kinds of races. And I remember growing up watching this, and they would sometimes there would be a section, and the people would be speaking in Spanish and stuff like that. And like as a kid, you're like, okay, all different kinds of races, all different kinds of things. People are upset about it. Some Republicans are they're saying that Sesame Street got too woke. And they are saying that Ernie is what race is Ernie, and then people are countering and saying, well, Ernie's clearly Filipino, right? I don't know. I don't know. It does feel right. I don't know. I wanted to ask Mark if you have ever heard that Ernie is Filipino, or if he's giving you a Filipino vibe.
I mean, I heard that from CJ Toledano tweeted that, and yeah, he's right. Ernie's absolutely Filipino. Ernie is in this closet. There's an Ernie doll.
That's our new guest. That's a new guest. Put him on right now. Yeah, no, go ahead, Mark.
I was like sucking on Ernie as a child. Like, he's just like a beat up like doll that I would love, that I loved like way too old. And we didn't throw him away. But yeah, he's absolutely Filipino.
Well, are people saying that because of something he does? Or like, what is it about? Because I don't watch the show.
You just look at it. Like, you just look at him.
Is it just a purely skin color thing? Is that what it is?
Yeah, but he's got like an outfit. He's got a red nose, so he's been drinking. Like
yeah. His vibe is kind of Filipino. He's like a chill, I don't want to say uncle, but like, you know, he's got the mellowness, you know. I could see if I were to turn Mark into a Muppet, he would just become Ernie. You know what I'm saying? Like just with the mustache, I would feel, right?
Yeah.
That's the main
That's
thing.
great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is kind of like, you know, black people claim Piccolo as being black from the Japanese anime Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah,
Asian
absolutely.
people are going to go ahead and claim Ernie. The CPAC is so mad right now. There's a guy named Matt Schlepp, which don't ever listen to a guy named fucking Schlepp.
Come on, that's like a fake name,
Anyways,
man. Oh, come on.
Right,
Okay,
it's the whole movement of like, it's like him, and then like Ted Cruz was upset that Big Bird was getting vaccinated. It's like they think it's like a woke thing happening. But I think it'd be so funny if Sesame just came out and were like, actually, all of our characters are Asian. Thank you so much for doing the podcast. Do you have anything you'd like to plug? Where can our listeners find you in your work?
Well, thank you guys for having me. It's been great to be on this show. I've been listening to you guys for a couple of years now, and like,
oh my god,
it's been great to see how you guys have like blown up. It's awesome.
Blown up? We haven't gone nowhere. Look at us. Look, we're still. Look, this is a mess. Look at us. We're still like we're
terrible.
We're still using the same tech. Oh my god. Okay, go ahead. It's what we love to see is our fans become more successful than us. That's what we love, Mark, baby.
All right.
You're going to do it.
I hope this episode, you know, inspires other fans to win Emmys and join late night staffs. But yeah, just follow me at Kramer Cram on Twitter, Instagram. I wrote for this book that's coming out next year called by MTV Books called Growing Up in Asian America, I believe is the title. It's like a compilation of essays by a bunch of people that are better writers than me. And yeah, so that should be fun.
And please follow us on all the platforms at Asian.AsianPod. I'm also on there at the FUMI Abe. That's TheFUMIABE.
And you can find me on Instagram at NicePantsBro. If you're going to be in New York City, December 16th, Hack City.
It's a Thursday.
It's a Thursday. It's going to be happening at Union Hall. So check out. There should be tickets if you just look up Hack City Union Hall. Again, that's December 16th, and it'll be a lot of fun. So come check that out.
Check that out. I think that's it. Mark, thank you so much for being on the show.
I do got one question. What is your favorite Excel function?
Oh my God!
What was the one?
You know, it's been so long since I've used one. But all right, I'm just gonna give you an answer here real quick.
Yeah, no problem.
I mean, I don't remember the function, but pivot table. It's pivot tables. Pivot tables are beautiful.
Yeah,
it's amazing. It's incredible.
It's like a next level
100%
usage.
Yeah, I'm a little embarrassed to say that I've only made one once, and I didn't know how it worked. I did it. I followed the directions, and it was doing the thing, but I still like conceptually was just like, what's happening? You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. I feel like I was a caveman. I discovered fire, but I didn't really understand what I had done.
You got to level up your
I really
Excel
do.
game. Yeah.
I do. Write a book about Excel. I would read the shit out of that, Mark.
Okay.
Yeah, hell yeah.
I'll do that.
All right. Well, check out this Excel book coming out, brought to you by Mark Kramer soon. And until then, we love you.
And we'll see you next week. Bye.